I turned 20 in this month of February, and I thought that I should make a video on this subject because a lot of people might relate to it, a lot of 20-year-olds, and also because I want to record what I think right now and how I feel, so that in the future I might look back and laugh at my 20-year-old self. So why shouldn't I start talking about the two things that most 20-year-olds want?
Building an empire.
And anime titties. I mean security and companionship. So let's talk about security, I mean job. It's been the core thing in my mind since the past 2 years, but I've been hesitating in getting a job due to some reasons which I'll talk about. And there are mainly a couple of reasons, or rather I should say fears, that makes me waver in my decision to get a job. And the first, and I'm gonna say it, I'm afraid of getting a job. I'm afraid of jobs. And the reasons that I'm afraid of getting a job is because, firstly, I'm afraid of getting rejected. I've been telling myself that it's bad to get a no for an answer when I go out to get a gig or a job. And I know it's not a bad thing. I'm usually thick-skulled. If I write a story and you tell me to read it, and then after reading it you tell me that it sucks and that I should stop writing, I wouldn't give a fuck about your opinion. I would just keep writing. Usually in a lot of areas I'm thick-skulled, but when it comes to getting a job, and I think it's been embedded in my mind that and I think it's a bad thing to get a no for an answer. And secondly, the fear of making mistakes while I'm working. I tell myself, what if I make a mistake or screw up in work and get scolded for it, or get frowned at, or what if others make fun of me for being clumsy or awkward? And the main reason that I dropped out of high school was this same fear of making a mistake. I thought that I could never work in an environment. I could never get a job and work in an environment where I'll be forced to interact with other people, because that would force me to make mistakes, be clumsy. I thought that by dropping out of high school, even though I didn't have a plan, I could figure out a plan to make a career online, to start a business online, a work that would allow me to work from home and be my own boss and make as much mistakes as I could without feeling a guilt. And thirdly, it's the fear of getting out of my comfort zone. This past 5 years I've created this circle in which are all the things that I'm comfortable doing. But getting a job and creating a new routine which would force me to leave my usual daily routine is not in that circle. Getting a job would mean that I would get away from my usual routines, which is writing and being able to make videos. So you could say that it's the fear of change that's stopping me. Now let's move on to talking about friends. I have a couple of friends, but I don't hang out with them. I have one friend whom I hang out once every 2 months. There are a lot of gaps in between those hangouts, but it's usually between 15 or 20 minutes and then I walk back home. And there is a fear of reaching out to my older friends because I also talked about this in my Hikikomori video, that because I've been so out of touch with them, I'm afraid that they might think that I'm in need of something. That's why I've reached out to them. And another reason which stops me from getting in touch with those people is that the feelings of inferiority because of my unemployment. Most of my friends are employed by now. Even if they are working at a 9 to 5, they have that confidence of saying that they are financially self-sufficient, that they are standing on their own feet. But I'm not, and that makes me feel bad and guilt-ridden. So I tend to stay away from those people to not feel shitty about myself. Let's talk about relationships. I live in a country where it's hard to get a date. I live in Pakistan.
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 I love Pakistan. I will sacrifice my life for Pakistan. I love Pakistan. Pakistan, Zindabad. Pakistan.
It's an Islamic country if you don't know already, and if you come here, you'll see 5-year-olds on a motorcycle just racing with that shit. And also, if you ask a girl out for a date, either she will accept and say, hey, cool, let's hang out, or she will karate chop your fucking ass. Relationships is out of the questions. Let's cue the sad music for our fellow sexually repressed dudes. So I've been working on YouTube and making videos, learning a lot of shit. And I think it's a dream job for me to be able to make videos on the things that I'm interested in and also have a source of income, make money out of it. That was my main goal when I dropped out of high school. So it would take a lot of time for me to make good videos. I mean, this is the third attempt of me trying to record this video, because the previous 2 times I thought that it was shitty and I deleted those. So it's frustrating, but in the end it's worth it. And also these past couple of days I've been going on for walks, just surveying the streets and searching places where I could potentially get a gig, job. And still the fears that I talked about makes me hesitate. Maybe I'll get over it this summer, or maybe a couple of days later, or a week, who knows. But it's inevitable that I should get a job, because YouTube's hard to make an income out of, and it takes a lot of time. And on the side of this, I am also writing. I'm writing novels, stories. And it's not something that I expect making money out of. And this is something that I do because I want to leave a legacy when I die. So if I succeed on YouTube, I'll try to publish it out of my own pocket. Because relying on traditional publishing is hard. And you could even get your book published and still die poor and be known as a starving artist. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And if you like this video,
You better do, you fucking piece.
make sure you subscribe and leave a comment. I really appreciate your feedback. It doesn't particularly have to do with the video. You could leave a comment down below talking about your own experiences. That's it then, I'm signing out.